Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're checking out something really exciting, the brand new Anbernic RG Slide. So this handheld has a sliding design, me making waves, and I can't wait to see if it lives up to the hype. I bought it from AliExpress. I got it with the one with a case included, but I didn't get the SD card with this one. I'll put links in the description from where you can buy it from. So we'll open up the box, and to be fair, it does feel quite premium, the box. So it's got two different colours you can choose from, white or black. It comes in a sleeve, so we take the sleeve out, and then again we've got a nice plain white box. We'll just slide the top of it off, and then inside we've got an envelope. Within the envelope is a screen protector and some cleaning cloths, so you'll be able to give it a good clean before you fit it, as well as basic startup instructions. Now to the main event, so we'll get the console out itself. First impressions, this thing feels solid. The slide mechanism smooth and locks into place with a satisfying click. The buttons have that familiar Anbernic feel, responsive and not mushy, and it's got a nice weight to it. Definitely doesn't feel cheap. A nice sliding mechanism, which is very sturdy feel. It doesn't feel like it's going to break anytime soon. The analog sticks feel good, as do the buttons. So we've got a power button on the side. We hold that down for a couple of seconds. Has a little rumble, then we'll start it up. So there's just a basic setup that you need to go through. Very similar to starting up an Android phone, as it is Android based. So we'll just go through, do some acceptances, connect it to the internet. Because it's been out a couple of months now, there's an update for it needs to do. So we'll just let it do its update. So we'll run through this quite quick. It did take around about 10-20 minutes to update, so it wasn't the quickest of updates. It did take a while, so make sure you've got plenty of battery. And then we'll just click back through, click through all the options, and then we'll get up and running and give it some testing. So we start up to the home screen, and as I said before, it's Android based. So there's a lot of apps already installed. So all these apps are basically emulators, so you can play different games. You've got your quick start menu along the top, so you can speed up the process if you want to. You've got all your Bluetooth options, your Wi-Fi options. So a few little quick options so you can get into a quick start. You can change the layout of the buttons, as much customization as you want. So we can click into the settings, and being an Android device, so all the settings on here is what you'd expect on a phone. So you can click through, you can see all the apps and games that are installed. So these are all the pre-installed apps, so you can play different games. So you can click through, you can delete them, you can update them, you can change them, you can check your storage. I always go on to this about the handheld and then click on this build number. So this unlocks the developer options. So when you want to do some more fine tuning, the options there. So we can see the Android version, a few more details of the console itself. So you can customize it as much as you want being Android based. We'll change the settings here so we can change what it does when we close the sliders. So it turns itself off when we close it, and then when you slide it open it starts up again. So a very nice little feature. So just quickly apply the screen protector, so give it a good once over, quick clean of the screen, place it into position. It's pretty easy to do because there's two locating buttons on either side. Just pop it in, and then I normally press it in the middle and let it spread out. Occasionally you will get a little bubble like this, so what you do is you just gently lift it in the corner till the bubble goes, and then it will take it away. Let go, let it go into place. So I've installed Emulation Station. It's my favourite front end. So we're going to go through all the different consoles. I've got myself a preloaded SD card with working ROMs, a branded SD card as well, so we can quickly have a little look through at some of the games that it can play. So most people aren't buying this console to play Game Boy games, but they do look good on a big screen. So as you can imagine, they're all going to run perfect and look really good. It's not really the games that you bought the console for, but the options there. Same for Game Boy Advance, all the games are going to work absolutely perfect. They look great on the big screen, nice bright colours, no qualms here. Super Mario All-Stars on the SNES, Every SNES game is going to work great. So basically every system up to PlayStation 1 should work absolutely perfect. It's only when you get past that up to PlayStation 2 where you're going to have to be more selective on what console games will work and ones which won't work. So silent scope on the Dreamcast. Dreamcast games tend to play pretty well. I've played a couple so far and they all work as you'd expect. The controls can be a little bit hard, not as responsive, may need to just adjust them within the settings, fine tune it yourself, but they all really work good and look good. Virtua Racing on the Sega 32X. Obviously it's a very pixely game. It's an old game, but it still looks good and it still plays really good. Die Hard Trilogy on the PlayStation 1, one of my favourite PlayStation 1 games. As you can see, the installed emulator that it started with, it starts up, but the sound is really bad, and then when you try and play it, the sound gets even worse. So what you need to do is exit out of the game, press the start button, and then you can just scroll down to other settings, and then there's alternative emulators. Within this, it shows all the different consoles that are installed, and it shows all the different emulators. Then you just click on which one you want, find an alternative and boot that one. Some of them you may need to click into on the desktop itself and fine tune it, so maybe add the ROMs or add the BIOS themselves. Some of them will work straight out the box. But as you can see, I've now loaded this through a different emulator and the game works absolutely perfect. Ridge Racer on the PSP. Initially I got a little bit of issues with the sound, a little bit of breakup, but the actual gameplay itself works really well. So I'm quite hopeful that most of the PSP games are going to work okay. And then my old little favourite, Amiga. Sensible World of Soccer, absolutely perfect out the box. Never going to be any issues with this one. So Grand Theft Auto San Andreas plays, and it plays well. But then you've got your higher end ones like Call of Duty World of War. So this one struggles like anything. I've tried doing some adjustments, but it still struggles. I'm also a big fan of Stuntman, and that one also doesn't work either. So the PS2 is still very hit and miss. Some games work fine out the box, other games with a bit of adjustment can work, and some are just unplayable. What's recommended is to go into each emulator and then fine tune each one, pop in your games, pop in your locations of where your ROMs are. If you need any BIOS folders, add all them. And then when you go into your front end or you go into RetroArch, they're all going to load and work as they should. So as I said before, it slides up really nicely. You can see the metal casing on the back of it, so it's nice and solid. Once you slide it up, it clicks right into place very satisfyingly. There is a bit of strength and speed within the slide, so when you click it up, it does take off and clicks in with a bit of vigour, but it is nice and strong. There's your quick menu settings. There's a lot of settings that you can go through, quickly change them, so you don't have to go into the full menu setting while you're playing. You can adjust the fan, so we'll put it on so you can hear. So once the console's playing the more intense games, you will need the fan to auto kick in or just pop it on yourself. Make sure it cools down. Being Android, you can click the button at the bottom of the screen and this will show all the open apps that you've currently got open, and you can close them all off. For the controls themselves, the Joy-Cons feel nice. The D-pad, it's not springy at all, it feels nice and firm, there's good movement in it. left and right. The Joy-Cons have the button press as well, so when you need a game which incorporates them, it's there. And then your A, B, X, Y buttons, there's a good bit of movement in these, but these also feel nice and solid. And your start and select buttons are nice solid plastic. Volume buttons on the side, next to your power button, which you can press to put it into standby, or you just can close the screen. So my final thoughts are, so far the RG Slide feels like a clever evolution of Anbernic's lineup. The sliding screen adds versatility without feeling gimmicky, and performance out the box is strong. Battery life so far I've been happy with. It's playing most of the games I want to. A bit of fine tuning may be required on the higher end ones, but I think there may be a little bit of wriggle room in getting certain games to work. So my overall first impressions are very promising. I highly recommend buying it with the case, because it's all screen, it needs a good protection, you need to put it somewhere safe, and if you're not very good at setting up ROMs, it may be worth buying it with the SD card. It's very different to the last higher end console that I got from Anbernic, the RG406 Vape, but it does feel very similar in size. It's got the same quality plastic feel. Has struggled on several PlayStation 2 games. It may need a little bit more fine tuning within the emulator itself, so I'm going to do a little bit more research on that. But for the moment, I'm very happy with the console, big fan of the design, and I highly recommend it. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe.